episode of the Real Football Talk. As always, I have Adi with me. Adi, how are you?
Really good, very good. Lots of games to watch.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
it's pretty much games every day, isn't it? So it's been good.
yeah, yeah.
Apart from was it Friday? I think there wasn't any games on Friday, but yeah, the whole week has been full of games and stuff. Not so
If
great
you're
to watch.
if you're a fanatic like me, then the championship matches on Friday as well and whatnot. So yeah, really enjoyed
Listen,
the week.
listen, Luton might be going up, Luton might be coming up.
I don't know. Let's see. Let's see
Playoffs,
who in the playoffs.
playoffs secured. So, it's all good. It's all good. Three games? Three games now we need? That's what we need to do. Three games. Three games.
I think they win one. Oh yeah, for the
No,
playoffs. Yeah.
playoffs. They play the first two and then in at Wembley, isn't it? Hopefully, I can find some tickets. So if anyone gets any tickets, pass them over or let us know. But yeah, let's get back to the Premier League. Let's start with the Fulham and Man City. I do. Another Champions performance, you would say? Oops.
Yeah. We're hanging on. A bit at times. They went to um real time wasting. The old school, experience was there with the time wasting and killing the time. And Fulham gave him a good game, even though City had so many chances and should have had the game out of sight. Leno had a real strong game. Um, Fulham never stopped trying. Fulham never stopped trying to get the goal and causing problems. And it's competitive, even though City dominated. Um, Fulham kept them honest. So yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed watching that. It's an entertaining game to watch,
No, definitely. But
and
they, I
yeah,
mean, that's what I was saying. As dominant as City was, I think it was their first chance. Fulham's they scored. Um, and yeah, I don't know. After that, it just for a while it looked like Fulham were gonna get back into it a bit more. But yeah, I mean, what I finished from Julian Alvarez.
the skill to create the space
Yeah,
and the finish is just unbelievable. I mean, really is a proper ambidextrous player. Just you know, left foot, right foot, just unbelievable finishing. And yeah, it shows how much faith and trust Pep has with him, because quite a few times he's resting De Bruyne more than
De Bruyne was out today. De
yeah,
Bruyne
he
was
was
out.
injured too, but even other games leading up to it, he's been resting De Bruyne, uh, and that's normally it's the one guarantee pretty much most of the time is De Bruyne is playing, and now it's only Haaland that's got that status, it seems,
Yeah,
and Rodri probably, and
but
everyone else is rotatable.
even then, Alvarez he hasn't like every time he's filled in. I do is what I think he scored 15 goals for them this season. So even
Yeah,
his returns haven't been bad because if you look at it, he shows 25 matches he's played, but most of them as subs. He's got 8 goals in the Premier League. So considering he's just coming in, I mean, Haaland plays most of the game. That's still brilliant stats because most of the game is just coming in to finish off, really.
but shows his quality and his mentality as well, because how many people with those type of stats and impact and coming back as a World Cup winner, a
Mm.
starter, um, come back and have the humility to accept that role.
Yeah, shows. I
How
mean,
many players do we see? They go win the World Cup, because you remember the World Cup was mid-season, so
yeah,
he
it
was
was. Yeah,
already doing performing and scoring goals before he left in that second fiddle role, and then he comes back. He carried on where he left off, and he still accepted the role. So you have to really be impressed by his mentality. Shows a lot of what he's about, what type of player he is. And I mean, many games he's been unlucky as well. I mean,
mm,
there's been games. I think the last game he started, he was unlucky not to have scored. He had quite a few close calls, quite a few chances where I think it might have hit the post or just missed the goal, or had ruled out because of marginal decisions. So yeah, he's what you call a real impact player.
But you also got to rate Pep Guardiola because obviously he's still managing to keep him engaged and keep him going because
I was going to call him the new Chicharito, but I think that's doing him a disservice. I think he's
disservice.
already
I
better
would
than
say
that.
that's disservice to the guy.
Yeah, he's already better. He's too good to be a Chicharito level. So we'll have to think of another one. But
I don't
definitely, yeah.
just
He's on
call
that
him.
caliber of just whether he starts or whether he's on the bench, he's scoring goals.
Listen, in most other teams, he probably start.
Definitely, yeah.
So that tells you this way. But I mean, in terms of Man City, obviously they played Arsenal in the during the week, beat them 4-1, and I mean dominant champions performance. What do you make of them? And is this done for the title race? Do you think?
Well, it seems like that. I mean, they're all peaking at the right time.
Mm.
They're all coming back into the squad at the right time. You can see the hunger everyone has, the determination. I mean, they're all pressing and doing all the hard yards more now than they did at any other point in the season. Where teams are fading, are fatiguing, they look like they've just started. They really do look appealing. Even if you look at today's game, I mean, the way that Haaland was pressing when the in the last 2 minutes of the game, it's injury time, and he's literally pressing three, four players. Harry and the Harry the keeper kicks the ball out, and you just think that is the mark of the champions. They've got that extra gear, and they're going to it every time, and you know they look really strong. I mean, the disappointing thing we were saying that was in a way we hope they fumbled slightly because it'll keep it exciting. Because now, if you think about it,
Mm.
in their games in hand, they're 4 points clear, easier fixture list. Already just looks like they may end up running away and winning the league by 7, 8 points at the
Um,
end. I can
yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
And because
Look
because of the fixture list
after
Arsenal got
Fulham.
and the way they're performing at this moment, you can it could go like completely the other way.
Yeah, so that would be a shame. That would be a shame if that were to happen because Arsenal have really um, made a good battle, more interesting battle than anyone was expecting. So it'd be a shame if they completely run away with it.
What
But
do you what do you make of a comment? Because there's a comment I heard during the week, obviously from Gary Neville, about the Arsenal team and the lack of leaders in the team, which I really agree with because what he said was the team has a lot of good professionals and even the captains or Zinchenko, you could say they're really good professionals, but they're not leaders. And that kind of resonates with me and what I was saying even last year with who Arsenal buy and the types of player Arsenal get in. Do you agree with that comment in terms of that was one of the reasons why they faltered as much as they have in the last three to four games?
I think that it's a few things. I think number one, and we called it out over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago at least, where I said I think they might have peaked too early because we're saying they were peaking and they're like there's still 12, 13 games to go, and they're on peak form. And I was thinking it seemed like they might have peaked too early,
Mm.
and they needed to time it for like their best performances, their biggest energy needed to be in the last 10 games, not before that. So I think one thing is they did peak too soon, and the mental fatigue has caught up with them of Man City not going away. You're giving your best performance, you're thrashing every team,
Yeah.
and the points difference ain't really changing. It does mentally get to you. So I think that's one thing. The other thing is definitely to have a lack of this. We spoke about it last week where the guys like Zinchenko, they talk a big game, Chaka, but they're not real leaders. They're the type to they talk a big game, when it comes down to the crunch, they're not there.
Mm.
I do think Odegaard is a leader. I have seen him step up. I have seen him pulling people away, but I never trust the team when the leadership is in the attacking positions, because they can't, so much of the game is off the ball, and yeah, you see that leadership of Odegaard. Certainly, most of the season I've seen it when I've watched Arsenal play. Is he does lead the press, he does lead the organizing of the press, and you see everyone does it well. And
Mm.
part of the reason is because he is a real leader. But then what happens behind that initial press? Who's the leader there? They don't have anyone. And that's where we've touched upon it. I've mentioned it a few times. Is their problem is they don't have no leaders behind Odegaard, and Jesus is, um, he's a player with winning mentality. He's not a player who's a leader. He
I
gives
think he's not it's not
by
he's one
example.
that lead by example, as in the way he's pressing intensity, or the hard work, or all of that is more of an example person than anything else. What I'm saying is, in terms of real leaders, someone like you said, someone that's gonna grab someone and tell them, no, you don't go out of this hole, like, or Partey. Why I like in the Man City game? Why was Partey so many times going and pressing Rodri? He doesn't need to go there. Someone need to tell Partey, no, you don't need to go there. You sit in that gap, because you sit in that gap, probably that doesn't happen. And it's small things like that. A real leader, someone who does something. No, you sit in that position, or even for the next 5 minutes, you do it, even though the coach said it, because this is what's happening. We're getting exploited.
Yeah, yeah, but I think again, you know, it's part of the journey into it as well. That maybe another year, another season, some of those guys will take on a bit more leadership role. Uh, but naturally, no, they don't have that. Definitely behind the attacking players, they don't have that leadership. That's why they've struggled recently. It's because when the going gets tough and teams are going for it because everyone's got a lot to play for, the defense has been found wanting, and I'm just surprised how much of a difference one player made to that defense. It's really exposed how much Saliba was covering. And the thing is, when I watched him at the start of the season, I thought that after many of the games that, well, Saliba's blocked or bailed them out or swept.
Or
That
his
could have been
pace,
a
yeah.
really good opportunity for the opposition. So it's definitely it's noticeable how much he was um probably bailing out that defense, but still would never expect it to be as bad. The defense just completely lost confidence. Gabriel, I don't know what's happened to him. He looked really good, but he looks all at cedar. And yeah, it's really shame, real shame. But yeah, I do agree with Gary Neville. There is a lack of leaders. But the thing is, it seems like a team where Arteta is the leader, and you see on the sidelines, even every drinks break, he's controlling it, talking to everybody in the team. You know what you're saying about party and players, take a shot. I'm not sure how much that would be allowed under Arteta's system. It seems like he wants to be the main voice, the tactical voice. Uh,
No, because
even
no, the
game.
reason why I say is I do see him allowing Odegaard to do it. So if there was someone else, maybe if they buy a player in the summer, that could potentially do that, because that's what's needed. That's what's required for this team to take that next leap.
Definitely. I think we
It's
have
it's
to.
not it's not a negative. It's something that they can learn from this year, because obviously it's another experience on a young team, because they are the second youngest team in the league. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's
I
it's
think just
definitely something going to be good for long term.
yeah, you have to just acknowledge the journey they've been on, the journey they're still on, and I just think yeah, that's something they could do with definitely on the recruitment side is you know, not people who talk after something happens, like Zinchenko or Xhaka will, after anything they give it the talk, but really real leaders is the proactive. Before things happen, they're organizing, they're tackling things, you know, they're making a difference, they're
Mm.
changing the outcome of games. So yeah, definitely I do think they need someone like that. I'm a bit surprised by Ramsdale. Um he seemed like he was more when he first came, he was a bit more vocal, and during the course of the season, he just seems a lot more quiet and timid as a player, less vocal, less. So I don't know what's happened there, but they do need to strengthen their leadership, definitely from the back.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully Saliba will get a bit more confidence into him and a bit more there. So that should be good. And if we can sign some leaders in the team, that'll be good. Yeah, but I mean, even for me, I think yeah, league is pretty much done because I don't see Man City well, even for Arsenal, if they win all the games, Man City would have to lose a game and draw another for Arsenal to even win. So I don't I don't really see Man City losing any of the games. Um, they might drop points away at Brighton, but that's about it really because there isn't any other difficult game.
The problem is, I think unless Saliba comes back, you just
I think he's done for the season.
if he's done for the
Yeah.
season, then I'll be surprised if Arsenal don't continue to drop points.
Mm, mm.
That
Yeah,
that's the
I
real.
don't think he's
Is do Arsenal really have the ability to win every one of those games? Some of them are tough,
yeah, yeah,
and the way their defense is leaky, and the confidence. At the end of the day, the confidence,
gone.
has taken a bruising. So I'm not sure. It's going to be very interesting to see whether
Yeah.
Arteta can keep them motivated. And yeah,
Mm.
suppose a lot depends on Tuesday's game.
I mean, yeah, we'll do a video on that or the following week. But let's move on to Liverpool versus Spurs. I mean, thrilling game, lots of errors. What did you make of it? Because again, Spurs concede 3 goals within the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, it's heavy metal football, isn't it? Just how we like it and Klopp likes it, and I think it's getting a bit too old for it. Keeps shaking his head every time they go through one of these, um, you know, roller coaster games. But yes, but look, Anfield is Anfield. Once Liverpool get confident, they go for the kill. They can blitz anyone. So. Uh, I think Spurs probably the confidence they got from coming back against United and performing well. They probably tried the high press a bit too much without realizing that this is Anfield, this is Liverpool. They're they're set up for the
Mm.
15 coming to do the high press and leaving those type of gaps with the pace that they attack and the numbers that they attack with is suicidal, and they learned that the hard way because after 15 minutes, like you said, 3 goals down,
It
and
was
it could have been many
it
more
wasn't
in
even
that first half an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. It's just the fact that I mean, they didn't even have the confidence to even keep hold of the ball. They kept giving the ball back to Liverpool straight away because every second, or they couldn't even get 2 passes. That's how bad it was.
I think Liverpool's pressing and intensity was really high as well, and the
Mm,
crowd on the back. You feel like someone's about to take the ball off you, so you do blind passes. You're worried about holding on to the ball because you might get pressed and lose it.
mm.
So I think yeah, the confidence obviously went as a
Do,
result.
but do you think that kind of cost Liverpool at the end because of the amount of energy they exerted at the beginning of the game?
No,
Because
I don't think it's the energy that cost Liverpool. I just think Tottenham started to handle the ball better. They started to face the press. They started to do, dribble around the press. They can switching the ball from one feet to the other. That's what you have to do when teams press you. You got to be brave. and after half an hour, Tottenham basically again, and you have to say very much like the midweek game, it all started with Harry Kane. Harry Kane started to put himself about a bit, flying into tackles, getting physical with the defenders and midfielders, and basically beating the press and buying a bit of possession, and that was it. That's all it needed for everyone to follow suit. And suddenly you got every player, even the defenders, taking the ball and trying to play a pass. Even though they're getting pressed. So I just think that confidence in just trusting the ability, trusting using your body and allowing, kind of just dribbling away from the press and passing, that confidence came eventually. So
I mean, Perisic sent Van Dijk on a on a skateboard. I don't know if you saw that. Is
yeah, I
is
mean it's really good skill. Shimmied him at the right time as he's sprinting in, and yeah, another good finish. But again, that's what Liverpool will do. They get carried away, innit? It's
but no,
like
but what I was
gonna
gonna
give every team a 7-0.
what I was gonna bring to you is again as good as Trent's obviously attacking prowess. If you look at those two goals, it's actually him that's causing the issues again.
I don't know. I think once the counter attack has happened, is he making the right decisions? Is he making it too easy? Yeah, you could say
No,
that.
no,
But I
he's
think
he's not
said
even
that
he's not even he's not even running back. He's jogging back. That's my issue. All right, that's fine. Obviously, the counter attack happen. You have to have the urges to get back in.
I think it's a bit harsh. You got to remember this is the left wing back. There's a lot of other players that are not doing their jobs.
Mm.
A lot of other players, but yeah, is his decision making good? No, it's not. He's making it incredibly easy for attackers. Which one thing he used to do is he's been very good at delaying and making it tough for the attackers to make the right decision. So he's clearly not. He's making it very easy by always diving in, or making a decision, not delaying. So it's become very easy to kind of score or create clear cut chances. But I think a lot of the problems are before that. I mean, a 1-2 and Perisic is literally running the length of the pitch and no one's tracking that. Everyone's ball watching. I think it's a bit harsh to completely fault Van Dijk. But yeah, he is
No,
defending well. He is struggling, and I'm sure that drop will motivate him to pull out some good performances because it always seems like that's what it is with Van Dijk is he needs a rocket. And recently, when he was getting under so much pressure from all the Dutch legends, what did he started to step up his performances.
yeah,
So I think there is a casualness about him mentally that is a problem.
mm. um, but I mean, the Spurs get back into the game with Richarlison finally getting a goal, exuberant celebration at Anfield, and then obviously they go down
And
the other end,
even
and
when you
then
think about Son's goal,
yeah,
like you're 3-1 up, how on earth are you giving up space like that? Even when you look at the Kane goal, like how are you giving up space to that level? It's like what kind of defensive structure are you setting your team up with? It's just crazy, and we're not talking about something like with Arsenal, a young team or inexperienced. This is an experienced team, especially that back line, that midfield. I know, they started the game with Elliott and Jones, and had some young legs in there, but on the whole, the squad is a very experienced squad. They've won
yeah,
title. They
Champions
know how
League.
to play. So when you see gaps like that, it's just unbelievable. It's what you expect to see in a team that's completely like a relegation team or that type of disorganization in a team. I don't know. That's that's the Scott manager that doesn't know what he's doing, but it is alarming. The chances they're giving up, the quality of the chances they're giving up. It's shocking. And yeah,
I
in a way, I was glad that equalizer happened because it just felt like Liverpool were were taking the game, like were understanding. Just they're playing too comfortable.
But then obviously Lucas Moura goes to the other end and passes to Diego Jota to go and score. Proper
Yeah,
Spursy.
and that's the thing is, um, I'm going to be fair to Ryan Mason. I have been impressed with his tactics and definitely his in-game management, the subs, the attacking nature of what he does. I think some of it's been quite clever, especially against United, the way he's managed to wrestle control of that and cause United problems with his substitutions. And they were all very attacking. And he done the same thing again and got, ultimately got it back, got the
Yeah.
2 goals back. So you have to credit him that he's quite good. He's attacking, and he knows how to get back into a game tactically. In-game management is quite good, but it cost him in that as soon as they equalized because they obviously got an attacking player in unfamiliar position who instead of playing safe is trying to keep possession and be cute, and it's
Ended up costing them, yeah.
in their cost. But again, a lack of leadership because a team with leaders at the back would have shouted as that ball's in the air out, clear it out, or tell him he's got time to bring it down and hoof it.
Yeah.
That didn't clearly happen. And yeah, it's a shame. A great finish from Jota.
But I mean, I was gonna say with regards to Liverpool, I mean, if you look at the forms table, they're second in the forms table in the last 5. They've only drawn one, won the other 4. So they're going for that top 4 spot. Do you reckon they can do it?
No, I just think I think the gap is still what 6 points with
The gap is
other
9
games
points
in hand,
to 9 points to United, and then 11 points to Newcastle.
and United still have games in hand.
United have 1 game in hand.
Yeah, so that could be 12 points. So no, I don't think so.
So yeah, it could be 11 and 12 points.
And the thing is, again, the reason why I say that, and I said it all along, isn't because Liverpool can't do it. It's just the way they're playing. Yeah, they're winning games, but they're unconvincing. Even the one against West Ham, unconvincing. I mean, that was some
I mean,
nailed on
West
penalty
West
they
Ham could
get.
have nicked it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was a clear-cut penalty. I don't know what VAR was doing. So they're winning unconvincingly, and yeah, they're rolling the dice and they're always coming out on top. But I always feel like eventually, you'll get caught out.
Mm.
I think away from home, they may drop some points. So yeah, as much as they're the form team, it's not too confident performances or complete performances. It's too playing gun-ho football and getting the rub of the green with decisions. So
Mm.
that doesn't give me the confidence to think they can get in the top 4.
Can can
Uh,
can Bri- can
Again,
Brighton do anything considering they got 2 games in hand? Even 2 games in hand. They played 31 games. So
Brighton,
Brighton, yeah, they won 6-0
I
6-0
don't,
in the week.
I don't think so because the thing with Brighton is all those games are against the top teams as well. They got so many games where they play.
Basically everyone in and around them, yeah.
Yeah, so they're not going to win every single one. They might outplay every team in them.
Yeah.
They're going to win it. So I do think yeah, definitely. I do think the top four's locked off. Um, you know, United needed this result because there's a tough fixture,
Against Villa, yeah.
and Newcastle have just got just on a boost at the moment, and are proving that they've got the metal to see this out and
Yeah.
go till the end. So I just think, yeah, to expect United and Newcastle to lose 3 games plus all those teams win every one of those games. Um, yeah,
So
it might get closer. The gap might get closer, but I think they've got enough of a buffer to to see it through.
what are we saying for Europa League? Are we saying that Spurs are gonna get it along with Liverpool, and then Brighton maybe get in Conference League?
I I think it's going to be personally. I think it's going to be Liverpool and Aston Villa getting the Europa League spots. Brighton getting the Conference League. I think Tottenham will fall out.
Wow, wow. You know, I actually think probably Brighton will probably beat Aston Villa. I reckon. I know they got hard
Okay.
fixtures, but because of the number of games they've still got 7 games left, and Aston Villa got 4. I still think Brighton will probably get in there over Tottenham, and I think Liverpool will finish fifth.
But I would back Aston Villa to they've got a striker. They play really well, even against United. I mean, I'm sure we'll speak about the game, but there's elements that I've seen from this Aston Villa team that makes me think, yeah, they're gonna win most of those 4 games. I don't know, yeah, don't know who they're against, but
No,
I
no.
haven't.
So this is why I'm saying this, because even Aston Villa don't have an easy fixture list, because they've still got. I'll tell you, they've got Spurs to play. They've got Liverpool away at Anfield, and
That's
then
tough,
this is the best one. The way it's gonna I potentially set up in the last game, they play at home to
right?
Brighton. So
It
it might come down to a shootout.
could do, but um, I think Spurs were definitely falling out of the European place, in my opinion. But Ryan Mason has given them a chance,
Mm.
making that change. Um, it's just it's a it's a it's maybe just hard luck on him that his first 2 games are against United and Liverpool. So yeah, I don't know who they're playing next.
They got Crystal Palace next. I mean, yeah,
At home.
at home.
Yeah, so I think they're all right. So yeah, it's going to be between those 8 teams, isn't it? I mean, those teams, but yeah, it'd be good. It'd be nice to see Aston Villa and Brighton make it into Europe next year. And the thing is, do Spurs really deserve it?
No, I don't.
Does Daniel Levy deserve getting away with it? I mean, the way he's managed the squad, the signings, the all the big decisions this year has been below what you'd expect from a big club. And
I think he's. I
and
think
all the infrastructure. What's
I
the
think
point?
he's actually messed them up. I do. I think he messed them up because they were in a really good place in the top 4 race, because they were far away from Liverpool and everybody else. But since the decisions that he's made, and keeping Stellini, etc., so on and so forth, even in the last 5, they won one. So they've allowed everybody else to catch up and overtake them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think just the way they run, they operate. Even the way they can't. They can't even get the recruitment sorted. Uh, at least with
I
Chelsea,
think their recruitment head has left as well. By the way, I think he's left. Yeah,
Paratici.
no, the other guy. That's the obviously sporting director.
Yeah.
Their main scout. I think the bald guy. I think you saw an Amazon Prime documentary.
Who cares? Either way, they're a mess. And at least with Chelsea, they have gone the quite directly the extra mile to actually speak to all these managers. You know how it went with Nagelsmann, you know Pochettino's the number one, but you know they've spoken to XYZ amount of managers. With Spurs, they're trying to do things behind the scenes, and they're still trying to figure it out, and and you right, yeah, two polar opposites. You got Chelsea that make decisions for fun, trigger happy decisions, and then you got Spurs who are afraid to make any decisions. You know, and I don't know which approach is better, but
Yeah.
I definitely prefer proactiveness over no activeness. Do you get it? Which is Spurs. I mean, how how do you think their fans will feel at the end of the season? They literally got the best stadium, one of the best training facilities,
They do.
and then they might not even make Europe with that stadium. Uh,
I mean,
and
I don't know. They've messed this up. Well, then in
there was
leaving.
a point in the season where everyone was going on like they're they're part of a real title running, and they
Yeah.
really did make bridge that gap because Conte had them winning, and everything was in sync, and it just seems like not giving Conte the reassurances he wanted, not backing him with the ambition that he has to win and get senior players in, just destabilized the whole club because Conte's commitment went, and that was it.
Yeah. But I mean, United, I mean, we briefly touched on them. Good win at Aston Villa. At
At Old
home,
Trafford,
at home to Aston Villa, sorry.
yeah, really good win. Um, they dominated the game, had lots of chances. I mean, United are they're rushing every chance they get. They don't look like a team confident in putting away their chances. Like before, they weren't creating as many, but you felt like the players had the confidence to put them away. Now they're creating a lot more, but it's like every shot is a smash.
But
Every
do you
shot
reckon that's because they got too much time and it's not based on instinct? Because the way I see it is a lot of United players literally finish on instinct, apart from probably I would say Fernandez.
Yeah, but he likes to smash every shot
Yeah,
now.
well, yeah.
Ends up hitting the bar.
Yeah, I'm saying in terms of like composure, someone that's got composure within that.
Yeah, even he's lacking a lot of composure recently when he's had chances. Um, so yeah, that's been the strange thing is they're playing better, they're creating more clear-cut chances. They just don't seem confident in putting them away. And yeah, Aston Villa competed the whole way. They were second best the whole way, but the few times they managed to beat the physicality and the press of United, they created good chances. They played really good one-touch football, and I was still impressed with them. But they did get dominated, and it was a really physical game. And yeah, United for the first time I would say this season bullied a team, which is shocking. Um, but yeah, they managed to bully a team today, and that's the respect they gave to Aston Villa. It was quite physical, and a lot of it wasn't even going for the ball. But the game, yeah, they were lucky. It's a game where it's a young referee, a new referee, and he was afraid to make any decisions. So both teams got away with doing some reckless challenges, doing some reckless fouls, and a lot of the time the foul wasn't even given. It's like clear cut fouls, and they weren't even given. And the only thing I would say is at least the referee is consistent with both teams.
Yeah. So, but that's all everyone asks for. If you're gonna do it throughout the game, do it consistently, not just pick and choose.
Yeah, he was consistent in making no decisions during the whole game.
At least he's consistent.
Yeah, so yeah, there's some, I mean, this is the thing. It's like I know on Sky Sports they're making such a big deal out of um, Yota's challenge on Skip. You know, when he went for the ball and studied the head,
Yeah,
and I was thinking, how can you suddenly mid-season go on about it being a red card? You got to look at the whole season. Tackles like that have gone in, and it's never been a red card. And the sensationalism just to create a story out of nothing, it's just poor.
yeah.
And if you look at the United game, there was a couple of United players who's had their heads kicked in by overhead kicks from Aston Villa players, and
Oh, it
it
was
was
no, it was an overhead kick, and I think his face connected whilst Callum
yeah.
Chambers.
There's another one I think from Watkins that was really dangerous, as in when there's so many players around, you can't just recklessly attempt an overhead kick.
Mm.
uh, because you know you are endangering. So yeah, and I thought yeah, it's fine. No decisions were made because it weren't intentional, but it just tells you how much sometimes Graham Souness and the likes just try to create a story that just isn't there.
Well, you mentioned Graham Souness. Graham Souness is leaving Sky. I think Sky has finally understood and all their viewers are sick and tired of Graham Souness talking about Pogba and moaning about Pogba. And since he's got nothing to talk about Pogba anymore, he's leaving. So yeah,
Since Pogba left, he's gotten hasn't got much value
he's
to
been
what he has.
reduced.
Well, you know, there were times I liked him as a pundit.
No, listen,
The last few years,
agreed.
he definitely has lost his way a bit, and you could tell this year he just never had the temperament for it.
No, but since Liverpool started doing well or came into the scene,
Yeah, he's
for
lost his way.
me, he went downhill because his favoritism and bias completely took over.
Yeah,
But before that, most of the things that he was stating and the discussion points, it was on point. I used to really like him, but yeah, boy, did that go downhill since Liverpool started doing well.
definitely agree. So yeah, um, but go bringing it back to United. Yeah, big win. I thought it was a huge win,
Definitely.
and probably one of the best performances they've done for a while. As in, is a complete performance from beginning to end. And even towards the end, they didn't look like they were under any pressure. They were, if anything, they were the team in the last 10 minutes looking to get the second goal. But yeah, I mean, I have to give credit to Luke Shaw. I thought Luke Shaw was immense in this back position because he got schooled in the second half against Spurs. I mean, Kane absolutely demolished him
Demolished him, yeah, yeah.
in that second half, and you see the difference between that's a world class player, and he can do that to a
Anyone, yeah.
part-time defender. But then you see today, Watkins never ever went to Shaw's side. Always stayed wrestling and tussling with Lindelof, who had another immense game. And yeah, I don't see where Harry Maguire gets back into the team now. I would put Lindelof and Shaw ahead of him because they perform
Well,
so
I
much.
mean, but that's what Eric Ten Hag has been doing, anyways. Most of the time when Luke Shaw is available and Malacias is available, or even with Dalloway playing a left back, he has used them rather than Maguire. So I don't know. I think the cards are out there for Maguire to obviously vacate or leave. I don't know whether United will sell him, but yeah, I think the writing's on the wall.
It's clear United want to sell, and it's just going to come down to money, really. And if there is a market for him,
Hmm.
because really, which team is going to go for him? The,
Yeah.
I think that's maybe one of the reasons why I want. Well, I don't want, but I won't mind if Everton stay up. They might go for Maguire. They might spend 30, 40
No,
million.
you're right. Everton do like taking United players, so yeah, there might be something there. You're right. You're right. They might just do. But let's move on because I have to mention them is Bournemouth because we all had it written down. Even a couple of weeks back, we all had it written down that Bournemouth is one of the teams that's going to go down, and they've completely surprised us all. And I think they're going to be safe now because obviously a thrashing of Leeds 4-1. What do you make of them? Because I mean, Martin O'Neill, you have to give him credit, right?
Yeah, I think is it Gary O'Neill?
Yeah, sorry. Oh,
Yeah, I think
I'm thinking of Martin O'Neill, ex Aston Villa
yeah.
manager.
So I think he definitely he's done a very impressive job. I like the way the owners have backed him
They did
because
in the January
the
transfer
thing
window.
is
Yeah,
they were on a run. They backed him in January transfer window. I really like every one of those signings were very smart signings.
yeah, yeah.
You know, the Otara, they're all guys that are known to be solid players. And they spent money, you know, most of them were 15 to 20 mil each one. Um, and they were smart signings. They really were. And I thought, okay, I like the way the owner Foley is running the club. When he was taking over, there wasn't too much noise. He wasn't too outlandish. Yeah, and I like the fact that he was confident when they started. So once Gary O'Neill signed the contract, that's obviously went on a run of defeats again. And I like the fact the owner backed him and said, I guarantee we will stay up. I'm confident.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah, a bit of, not often do we give credit to owners, but give it where it's due. The new ownership, they done really well. They backed him, they supported him. And, what a decision. It's been a very good decision to stick with the assistant manager. And
I
I
think.
think he's done a great job, amazing job. And he's shown his improvement because they would have done better if they didn't keep choking. How many times were they 2-0 up and ended
I
up
mean, I
losing
can tell you 3 games that they've done it in. So like,
at least? And I got a feeling
yeah,
maybe even a few
there's
more.
more. There's more. Yeah, there's
Because
more.
when he first took over, he just didn't know how to see a game out. And now they've gotten better at
But
it. And you look at today,
it's an experience for him, isn't it, as well? Because obviously it's his first real job. Let's be honest, and and it's complimentary. I'm not down playing it. It's his first job. Obviously, he's gonna get that experience and learn the ropes as he does it. So, and I think that's what's proving important because look at him, he's got them safe now, safe and sound.
yeah, today's a big example of how they are developing and improving because they went on to win comfortably 4-1
I do.
against Leeds. So,
I
um,
do. Let me
yeah,
tell you
I'm
this.
glad in a way because of the players and the manager, and you know, I like when a young manager comes and they talk sense and they talk and say the right things and they work hard. Uh, you know, I will always give more credit to managers like Gary O'Neill than people like Lampard and Gerrard who just they get the big positions, but then you can tell they haven't put the yards in. Gary O'Neill has put the hard yards in. He's been working as a coach for a few years, then
And
moving up to
yeah.
assistant and taking more responsibility on. And so I just think, yeah, it's good. It's good to see that someone goes through the system, develops themselves, gets an opportunity and takes it,
Mm.
rather than getting an opportunity because of your name.
The interesting one. Bournemouth's next game is against Chelsea. At home, and if they beat Chelsea, they go above Chelsea.
More and more, your claim that they are guaranteed top half is looking bad. I won't let that die down. I will remind you every time Chelsea drop points that remember you said they guaranteed top half finish. What did I tell
Man.
you? They're going
Listen,
down.
man, I don't know, man. Look, there's a crazy stat I saw. Yeah, um, Roy Hodgson has come back from retirement and has won more games than Frank Lampard has done in 25 league games that he's managed for Everton and Chelsea Football Club. I mean, that says it's all. So I don't know, man. All I said, I think I said it last week that what Chelsea fans should be glad the fact that they got 39 points on the board because or else what Frank Lampard would have taken you down to the championship. They would
Well,
have.
more like Chelsea fans should be glad that
Graham Potter was their manager.
Foley took over, you know, late in midway through the season because, boy, if this sale had happened in the summer, I don't know where Chelsea would be. Seriously, the way they're running the club it's proper fantasy football. They're buying whoever, not thinking, worrying about selling, not worrying about financial fair play. It's literally kamikaze, do whatever you want, however you feel, no rules, no respect for anything the way anyone does. It's just strange.
But I mean, looking at the table, Southampton. I think we said last week they're done. Even though they play Nottingham Forest in the next game, with Nottingham Forest being at home. Um, who do you see surviving? Because I think West Ham, Wolves will be safe. For me, it's out of those five of Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Leicester, Everton, and Southampton. Or Southampton already down.
But Southampton, I think, are gone. I don't think
Yeah.
there's any point in bringing them up, but definitely, I do think it's looking scary for Nottingham Forest. The fixture list, the fact that they couldn't hold on to a 1-0 lead, it's worrying that look, Brentford's a good team, but the manner of the two goals, I think.
I do. The two goals, I'm sorry. Keylor Neves should have saved both.
No, I think it's harsh on
No, especially the first one.
Yeah,
First
I
one,
think that's
come
harsh.
on, man. No. That was a weak free.
Harsh.
That was a weak free kick. That was a weak.
But he still went through the wall. He saw it late.
He went through the side of the wall. It's
He
not.
was
It's not.
unlucky. He didn't.
Nah.
He went through the wall. He went through the wall. I think he was very unlucky because he actually did save it, but it just hit the post, came back and hit him. So I think that's harsh.
Nah. I think
Yeah.
he did save them. He did
You,
save them one after
you're
that.
taking out you're
I just
taking
think
out
after
your
that,
Arsenal
was cool.
frustration on everyone else. You become extra harsh.
What do you mean? No.
Harsh on everything now.
I'm not being extra hard. I'm just saying it as if
Versus Van Dijk.
Keylor Navas actually cost them there.
Versus Van Dijk for like everything that went wrong. Now it's Navas. Like, who was it last week? You're like extra harsh on another player. I was like, what's going on with you? Stop taking out your ass of frustration.
Listen, I'm telling you the reality of things, right? People gonna see.
He actually saved it. It was unlucky.
He didn't save it. He went into the net.
Yeah, after he hit the post and rebounded into him. That's very unlucky. I think the mistake is more with the wall breaking and it went through that gap.
But I mean, could their saving grace be the game against Southampton if they get 3 points? Would that be enough? Because do you see Leicester and Everton picking up those points?
A lot depends on tomorrow. I mean, Leicester, Everton. If that's a draw, that keeps them both really nervous. If for example any one of them wins and wins quite convincingly, that's going to give them such a confidence boost. So I think the bigger game for Nottingham Forest is what happens tomorrow on Monday Night Football, because a draw would be perfect, and then getting the points on the board puts pressure on everyone else. And then that Southampton game, if you win it, you're out of the drop zone again, and the pressure's on everyone else to get results. So yeah, I mean, definitely, personally, I don't want Leeds or Nottingham Forest to go down. I really like the fan bases.
I don't even want to tell you the fixture list for Leeds because
yeah, Leeds and Nottingham Forest, it does look a bit worrying for them too.
Man City away.
I hate it if again it's
Are you doing Kevin Keegan?
No, it's a bit like Spurs and Chelsea. You don't want bad management and badly run clubs to get away with it. So you don't really want Everton to get away with it. Personally, I don't really want them to get away with it because they've made some ridiculous decisions over the last few years. They're not a United club. They're still not accepting how poor they've run the club. The total arrogance of Ken Wright to give an open letter and actually not take accountability for one thing, not even anything. It's poor, and you kind of just think, yeah, you know what? The only thing that might fix that them in the background and behind the scenes is if they actually get relegated. But I don't know. It seems like the fixture list and the way things are going, they may get away with it. And Leicester's a club that you do like, but they do fall under that category of being poor because they didn't let players leave that were clearly, you know,
Wanting to leave, yeah.
they needed to let them leave. They had opportunity to play for Champions League clubs, and then they were too afraid to make decision on Rodgers, who you could see wasn't committed at many points in the season.
They
So,
left it too late. They left it too late. They should have done this before even Jan. Given a new manager some time, maybe move some of the players on that wanted to go, or under a new manager see if it worked, and give him some backing in the window. But
I do like Leicester, so yeah, I don't mind if this.
I do too. But you know what? Yeah, I don't know. Leeds, I think Leeds gonna drop in there. I don't want to see Nottingham Forest obviously go down. I manage them on FM and stuff. You know what? They're sick. They got so many players, but yeah, Nottingham Forest, yeah, they're done really good with Steve Cooper last year. Even I hope they don't go down. So it'll be good. I think they'll improve even more next year. So yeah,
Let's see. I mean,
interesting.
I hope they stay up. I definitely, yeah. It's between Leeds and Leicester for that one if I had my choice and Everton going down. But let's see. I got a feeling the fixture list is looking better for Everton and Leicester. And I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Leicester squad can't pull out a few results. When you look at the quality of the attack line, especially, you just think, Madison, you got Madison, Vardy. I mean, Nacho is a big loss. I think he's injured for a few weeks.
Yeah.
They've got Barnes. They've got some real talent there. You'd expect them, at the crunch time to pull something out the bag.
Well, I mean, if they, I reckon if they get that result against Everton, that'll be massive for them because that'll give them the boost that's required. And I think they'll just because they do. I mean, they do have some hard fixtures, but again, Fulham they could potentially beat them away. And then last game of the season against West Ham might be safe and already partying. So, there's a saving grace there.
I think it's hard to predict.
Yeah, I mean,
but it might be Moyes' last game, and the players might
true.
might give it their all. So, like I said, it's definitely between those four teams. I think it'd be good if all of them started winning a bit and bringing back like the likes of West Ham and Wolves. That'd make it interesting. But right now,
Wolves is too. I think
I'm not confident. I'm not confident for Leeds or Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, especially for Leeds for me. I think
out of those two teams, I think Nottingham Forest will make more of a fight of it. Leeds, it just feels like they've given up.
No, the biggest problem is them out. It's not even that; it's the amount of goal they're conceding as well. It's not like they concede one. They're conceding 4-5s every week.
They're getting thrashed by everyone, and that's the problem, isn't it? They're getting thrashed by everyone, but it feels like their confidence is gone. They already need to change their manager again.
Too late. But Adu, as always, thank you so much for joining. For those of you watching, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll hope to see you soon. Thanks.